Thanks, guys. Got a free pick coming up in the NFL, but first get 7 days of action from LVSS for just $7. That will include the opening of the Bowls this weekend, my December NBA Game of the Month Friday, and my AFC Game of the Year going Sunday. 7 days to $7 with LVSS. Call 1-866-575-8916. Free play comes to the NFL on Sunday as the Raiders and Chargers meet in San Diego. Can't see the Raiders defense showing up in this one, the last road game of a lost season. The last two road games, they've allowed 37 and 31 points to the Cowboys and Jets. Plus, Oakland is on a 5-1-1 run over the total and 5-2 over the total on the road. San Diego is 4th in the NFL in passing, 14th in rushing under new coach Mike McCoy, and comes off that euphoric win at Denver. In 3 of the last 4 games, the offense has scored 41, 37, and 27 points to hit the Raiders and Chargers to go over the total. Once again, get 7 days of action from LVSS for $7. That will include the opening of the Bowls this weekend, my December NBA Game of the Month Friday, and my AFC Game of the Year going Sunday. 7 days at $7 at LVSS. Call 1-866-575-8916.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Have a great weekend. Time to look at an NFL game. We're going to go to the Bears and Eagles matchup. A very big game. The Bears got some help from the Lions on Monday night. The Bears now find themselves in first place in that division. Green Bay very much in it as well because they rallied in spectacular fashion against Dallas. The Lions are now the team that needs help in that division. The Eagles, meanwhile, I have to confess, I got caught up in it. I thought the Eagles were in trouble were in great shape last week against the Vikings. You know, the Vikings, no Peterson, no Gerhardt. They're a bad football team, and I jumped in on that game. I got good value. Man, but beat the number by like 2 points. Never in it. Never in it. Just wow. That NFC East is completely untrustworthy, and that's where I'll start talking about this game. I like the Bears, and if for no other reason, the NFC East sucks. Okay? They can't beat anybody outside their division. All year long. It's the same thing over and over again. These teams have great names and great traditions. Well, the Cowboys haven't won anything actually in a long time. The Giants have, though, and the Eagles have had some good teams, but they're regular playoff participants until the end with Andy Reid. But if you look at this season, these teams get out of their division. They're bad football teams, and I think the Bears they were criticized in a lot of circles for putting Cutler back in the starting lineup instead of McCown. You got to think that the people there know their talent better than we do, and the players 100% behind the move. Even McCown, even if he didn't believe it, McCown sure sounded like he believed it. And besides which, McCown I think is heading for free agency, so he's in pretty good shape as far as his future is concerned. The Bears, nice win. It was a high-scoring game. They gave up a lot of points. They'll probably give up their share of points this weekend, but we saw once again. The NFC East gets out of the division. They can't play. The Eagles couldn't stop anything. And that was a Vikings team, again, down to its 3rd and 4th string running backs with a below-average quarterback in Christian Ponder. And they put up, 90? Or it seemed like 90 points. Every time they touched the ball, they were in the end zone. I can't bet on these NFC teams.
It was actually Matt Castle last week.
Excuse me, Matt Castle. Well, he's still a below-average quarterback. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. I got him mixed up there. Castle has been the best, excuse me, of the 3 this year, but he's still, at best. No, he's not NFL average. He's just not. Okay, that's it. I don't have to analyze anything else on this. The Bears are a better football team than the Eagles, and I think they're going to go in and win the football game.
I understand what you're saying, Dave, and I'm not supporting Philadelphia in any way, shape, or form here. They're open to 4-point favorite. They're down to 3, and actually some spots they're 2.5. It's hard to support Philadelphia. Their home record over the years, the last several years, have been absolutely horrendous. They did beat Arizona a couple weeks ago. They did not cover the spread. The Bears, unfortunately, are coming off of a road win at Cleveland, which was, they won the game easily, and after Cutler got in the groove, he made a couple mistakes early, etc. But he's of course the better quarterback between him and McNown. That was a financial decision why they had to start him. You don't bench McNown; he's the highest quarterback rating in the league, but they had to because they have to negotiate with one or the other or both at the end of the season. If you're going to pay this guy $100 million, you better put him on the field and see if he can play. So they did that. He did play well, and he'll probably play well again here. But he has been a turnover machine at times where McDowell was not. And now you get this new coach. You got the new quarterback here in Philadelphia. They've been blowing things away. Foles had a lot of passing yards last week. He threw the ball very well. We got the ball downfield. They moved the ball everywhere, but their defense did not show up at all, which was incredible. In perfect conditions, they'd only been averaging giving up 16 points a game, and they gave up 48, which is only 3 times as much as their average for the previous 3 games. So I agree with you that the Bears are probably the right side. In my mind, when you look at their team, they're the better team. However, you have a Philadelphia team here who is an exceptionally good running team. They run the ball extremely well, and the Bears are horrible. 32nd in the league against the run. Philadelphia's strength, running. Bears' weakness, defending the run. They should be able to take advantage of that. Chip Kelly's a pretty smart coach. I think Trestman's a pretty smart coach. I like Trestman a lot. I've followed him over the years. I like him a lot. Interesting game to handicap. Very difficult situation here. They both have huge games next week. Philadelphia has to play Dallas, and the Bears have to host Green Bay. Now, this is a 1-2 battle in their divisions. And the other side of it is, these guys, if they don't win their divisions, they're not going to the playoffs. Their records are just not good enough to get a wild card. So they're either going to win their division or they're out. So these games are crucial. And I'm talking about, this is money time. These guys are playing, this is big money time for these teams. I don't know who the hell's going to stand up. But that weakness on defense the Bears have against the run really bothers me.
Well, speaking of money time, this is actually a battle of money burners. I mean, the Bears have covered the last 2 games, but they're still on a 6-15-1 spread run. And the Eagles at home, Dave, as you mentioned, 5-20-1 against the spread. I like Trestman too, Jim, and he's a very good coach who walked into a very good situation. An offensive mind. It's one of the best offenses in the league. He's got great pieces to work with. I mean, a quarterback can't help but succeed with weapons like Mac 40, 1,200 yards rushing, 2 tall receivers in Ashland Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall. He's gotten the most out of Cade McCown, 13 touchdowns, 1 pick, and now the potential star quarterback Cutler is back. Defense has struggled. When they win a game, they're 17-4 over the total the next game, and that's what happened last week too. And here's an Eagles team that's just so good on offense, unstoppable running, and even their passing game is 10th in the NFL. The thing to keep in mind about the Eagles defense, they went 9 consecutive games giving up 16.5 points. Now, what they were doing was they went soft coverage. They played back. They were hoping for some pressure from the defensive line. They basically were trying to prevent big plays. It's a bend but don't break kind of defense. And it worked for 9 straight games. Well, the 10th game was last week when the Vikings just carved them up. So the question is, was that an aberration, or are they going to get back to playing or succeeding the way they did over these 9 games? So when I look at a matchup point of view, Bears can't stop the run. Eagles are number 1 in the NFL in rushing. It's kind of a shaky weather game here in Philly, and Eagles have home field. So, Dave, I'm going to back the home team in this one with all those variables.
All right, before we get to our second game, I want to tell you how to get the free plays on a daily basis. Mine have been a little 50-50 lately, but I think that's kind of to be expected, considering they're up over 100 games since we started doing this in March of 2012. That's an enormous profit. And they're free plays. All you need to do is send a text to Kokin, C-O-K-I-N, at 313131. And you'll get back the free play for the day on your cell phone. Nothing could be easier. And if you've just played nothing else but those over the last nearly 2 years, you've accrued tremendous profits. So, keep playing them. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure and start doing so. Text Kokin to 313131. Jim, same thing with you. Free play every day, and nothing could be simpler.
Absolutely. Just text WINNER, W-I-N-N-E-R, to 313131, and we'll send you a free play right to your cell phone. Can't be easier than that. Text WINNER, W-I-N-N-E-R, to 313131. and get a free play right on your cell phone.